to the How-To series. This how-to is about teaching learners to say no. Saying no and being able to appropriately refuse activities and choices is a critical skill for young learners and will help prevent the occurrence of problem behavior in the classroom. Some of the children you will see will not have a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. However, the examples all depict strategies and teaching practices that can benefit all students. Teaching students how to refuse to do something may seem counterintuitive. After all, we typically think of good students as compliant and willing to do what the teacher tells them to do, right? Actually, giving students communication phrases and strategies to escape from choices and activities is a very important skill that every student should have. Saying no is a fundamental way that students learn to be self-determined. This means that they can make choices for themselves and can tell others what they want or need. Finally, saying no through communication can prevent problem behavior, which is itself a way that we communicate our needs and wants or dislikes. When we teach students to say no, we are giving them a way to get away from something they don't like or refuse something they don't want. While we are shaping these communication attempts, it is important to remember that students with autism have difficulties with communication, which could prevent them from doing this. So, it is very important that team members decide what communication attempts will be accepted from students ahead of time, and in which situations escape and avoidance will be allowed. It is very important that all staff that work with the student are consistent. When teaching saying no, like other functional communication skills, it is important that we teach and give practice opportunities in multiple natural settings with multiple people and activities, so that students generalize their learning and are able to use it throughout their lives. Also, remember to give the student reinforcement, either external reinforcement or escape from an undesired activity, promptly after the communication attempt. Anytime we are dealing with behavior, it is important to remember that the new behavior we are teaching will only be adopted if it works better than the problem behavior at accomplishing the same goal. So, if we have a student that is tantruming to get out of an activity, saying no should be even quicker and more effective than the tantrum if we want things to change. Let's watch our first video. In this video, you will notice students playing together with a teacher supervising them. One of the students disrupts the play of one of his peers. While you watch the video, notice how the teacher prompts the peer to communicate that he does not want him to do that.
Let's do it together. We can have a house and we can have a zoo. Okay? If you don't want him to do that, tell him. Say, please don't break that.
Please don't break that. That doesn't make a doggy house.
Here, you need to help us to make the
You
doggy house.
can't do anything. I'm doing something.
Okay? Help us get blocks.
Okay, for his home.
Yes, for his home. Okay?
What did you see? Notice how the teacher interrupted the frustrated student, modeled the phrase he could use, and gave him an opportunity to use it in the natural environment. These natural opportunities, or teachable moments, are great ways to practice and reinforce skills. But in order to take advantage of them, we must first plan and introduce the communication we want the student to use, and be attentive of situations where those teachable moments may arise. What did you notice about the student's frustration level before he said no? What do you think would have happened if the teacher had not redirected him to use a communication attempt? He may have acted out of frustration, which was nicely avoided by the teacher's support. Let's watch a few more videos. As you watch, pay attention to the types of settings that the student is practicing saying no. Also, look for different forms of communication that the students use to refuse and say no.
I have oranges.
No.
Color the star. Do you want yellow or orange? Say no thank you. No thank you. Okay.
Pizza.
That's yummy.
I got this spot.
As you can see, saying no is a communication skill that can be taught, supported, and reinforced in many natural settings that occur throughout the school. There are also many ways that no can be communicated, not just verbal speech. Notice how one teacher even grants a student's refusal by giving wait time. Finally, although the reaction of others may be different, if we want communication to replace the problem behavior, That communication needs to be effective at earning escape from the situation or activity. To review, teaching students how to appropriately say no to others is not only critical communication, it is also a critical safety and self-determination skill. Additionally, it can prevent problem behavior, but only if it is more effective than the behavior it is replacing at accomplishing escape or refusal.